Today on Running to Him.
God controls our life because He knows us and what we will do. Therefore, His will is accomplished every second of every day. We will read through the Pentateuch until January. Today, we read Genesis chapters 40, verse 1 through chapter 41, verse 37, and concentrate on chapter 41, verses 14 through 16. Then Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph, and they hurriedly brought him out of the dungeon. And when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, but no one can interpret it, and I have heard it said about you, that when you hear a dream you can interpret it. Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. It always amazes me when people confuse God's plans with coincidences. Joseph was sold into slavery so that someone could bring Israel's family to the safe haven of Egypt. Had they tried to accomplish the same thing Joseph could, they would have failed. But God placed Joseph in the right place at the right time. Likewise, Joseph was placed in prison, even though he was innocent, because that was the only way that he would be able to interact with Pharaoh. The cupbearer even forgot about Joseph when he was restored to his place in service to Pharaoh. So Joseph had to wait until God gave Pharaoh a dream that needed to be interpreted by someone. It was Joseph's turn to be the frontman for Pharaoh and ultimately the catalyst in Israel's coming to Egypt for protection. Nothing that is accomplished in the world is accomplished by itself. Even the littlest detail is achieved only because God plans it and sets the plan in motion for a successful conclusion. Every one of us, everywhere, is part of God's plan. There are no small experiences for any one of us. I've told my story about what it took for Tony and me to meet several times. And I can go back several generations, which might make the story even more impressive. What I'd like you to think about something in your life: you're meeting someone, or you're getting a particular job, or any just inconsequential event. It took a significant amount of other events to make that event work. So why are we ready to look for coincidences and happenstance and not give credit to God? The longer we delay, the more difficult it becomes to see God's hand. I challenge you to read the book of Jonah. It's a short story, it only covers 4 chapters. It might take 15 minutes to read. But it is incredible when you get down to figuring out what God had to do to place that fish and that boat together at the same time. So, God controls our life, yet He does it by giving us free will. He can only do that if He knows everything about us, every other person around us, and the weather, even to the minutest detail. So, let's give credit to where credit is due. God controls our life not by pushing it around like pieces on a chessboard, but because He knows us and He knows what we will do. His will is accomplished every second of every day.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.